Hello there, and welcome back to the Codex. So as of the time of recording this video, I just happened to notice that Revenant Prime is about to come back into the game, along with Baruch and all of their weapons, of course. So with Revenant coming back, for those of you that haven't already used Revenant, especially the Prime, for example, you know, the better version, whether you haven't gotten regular Revenant from Cetus for whatever reason, or you just decide to wait on the Prime, if you've never experienced the absolute, just pure ease of use that Revenant is, you will now finally understand why people say that Revenant is just pure meta slop, because he is so easy to play, especially when you put on some helmet abilities like Nourish, for example, like we're using today, because the theme of today's video is absolute meta slop. So we're using Revenant with the Torrid, the Dual Tox, and the Magister Incarnate, because why not? We can. So I decided to full send it with the Archon shards here. We're using 4 Tau Forged Strength shards, so this is 60% extra strength. We're also using 1 Tau Forged Emerald shard to increase the amount of corrosive procs that you're able to apply to enemies, so this will give you up to a 98% armor strip, which means, of course, we're going to mod corrosive on our weapons, which we'll talk about in a moment here. First, we'll go over the frame build. So here's the actual Revenant build. The build is simply just max strength in max duration. Nothing else matters. Max strength to beef up the amount of Mesmer skin charges that we have. And this is 358 strength before augmented, by the way. So this is actually over 400% strength, which is just hilarious. And the strength also matters for Nourish. We get a ton of viral damage from this, as you can see, and a ton of energy gain multiplier. That energy gain multiplier does apply to Energy Nexus. So if you use Energy Nexus on this build, that 3 energy regen per second that you get from this will be multiplied up to like 10 plus energy a second, thanks to that extremely juiced up Nourish. So this is going to be infinite energy, absolutely insane damage from the weapons that we're using, plus the insane viral buff from this. You can't die because Mesmer Skin keeps you alive. As long as you have at least 1 Mesmer Skin charge, you can't take any damage, and you will generate several times the amount of energy you need to cast this ability before it actually runs out. The minimum amount of time that this ability can last is an amount of seconds equal to the amount of charges you have. And on this build, thanks to Augmented, we're going to have, what, like 27 charges? So that's at least like 25 to 30-ish seconds of invulnerability. That amount of time is going to generate you hundreds of energy from Nexus, plus Nourish, plus the Orbis you pick up. So it is, like I said, like just literally infinite energy. We're also using Combat Discipline to trigger Arcane Avenger reliably. So we're also getting a flat extra 45% crit chance, as if this build wasn't already overkill enough. And we're using the Mesmer Shield Augment, which gives you an extra 50% strength, specifically to the second ability. And it also shares it to your teammates. So you're overpowered as hell, and you're also sharing Mesmer charges to the rest of your team, because again, why not? Let's just break the game. Now, in terms of the slop weapons we're using here, we're using the Torrid with the classic evolution choices. You can see here the pure crit setup. Here's the weapon. I don't usually use ribbons in videos, but I figured, hey, it kind of fits the theme of this video being extremely overkill, so I do have my crit chance and multi-shot ribbon on. If you don't have a ribbon, you can place it with basically any mod. This weapon does too much damage, it doesn't actually matter. So you can put Serration there, you can put more crit damage there, more elemental. Doesn't really matter, you're going to kill everything. And again, that has corrosive damage on it, which is going to benefit from the corrosive shard here. Same thing with the Dual Tox. So this looks like it's Blast Electric, but it's actually going to be Blast Corrosive, because the special effect of the Dual Tox gives you free toxin damage, and that will combine with the Electric to actually make this Blast Corrosive. So again, this will also benefit from the Emerald Shard if enemies actually survive long enough to get that amount of procs on them. And again, going to keep my ribbon on here, because why not? My ribbon is basically just a better version of Frostbite. So again, if you don't have a ribbon, you would just put Frostbite there, so keep that in mind. And even without a ribbon, it absolutely shreds. And then, of course, the most meta sloppy melee in the game, the Magister Incarnate. The main reason why people use this is because of this effect right here, the plus 100% slam radius, which makes this thing destroy the entire room that you melee in. It's hilariously disgusting. And of course, we take the crit evolution here. The build that I'm currently playing with, again, with a ribbon of melee damage, crit chance, and negative attack speed. Negative attack speed doesn't matter, by the way, because we're slamming, so not a problem. If you don't have a ribbon, again, replace it with base damage. More crit like Gladiator Might, more element, doesn't matter. The thing does like 50 million damage. I mean, I could replace 3 of these mods with just leaving them empty, basically, and it would still kill everything, so not a problem. build here is basically just crit, some elemental, and some initial combo, obviously, from reflex plus corrupt charge. This makes it really easy to keep the incarnate mode active because you need to beat at least 6x. That's also why we're also using focus energy, because this combined with reflex gives you 90% heavy attack efficiency. So every time you slam, you only lose 10%. Every time you heavy slam, that is, you only lose 10% of your combo at max, which is really, really nice. Lets you keep your combo up. Now let's go ahead and hop into a mission. Oh, we're also using exposure because another 240% corrosive damage. Because again, why not? Now let's go ahead and hop in a mission here and show that this does just way too much damage. Alright, so here we are in the Conjunction Survival. Let's pull out the Magistar first. Start off with the melee. Yep, everything dies, and we don't even have the Incarnate mode active yet. As you can see, especially with my Ribbon, I'm hitting very high tiers of red crits, especially when you add that Arcane Avenger on that we have on the Revenant build. I didn't mean to do that. Whoops, here we go. There's a 30 million damage hit. So yeah, as you can see, damage, not a problem. And given how much damage this does, obviously, like I said, if you don't have a Ribbon, it's still going to kill everything. And guess what? We didn't even have Nourish on. So now let's see how much damage it does. Yeah, plenty, it turns out. Let's go ahead and pull out the Torrid here. Otherwise known as the best primary in the game by a lot of people. And, yeah, it shreds. It absolutely kills everything. Who would have thought? Again, one of the reasons why you're seeing pure red crits is because of my Crit Ribbon plus Avenger. But again, even if you're not using either of those things, this weapon still completely shreds. Now onto the Dual Talks, very fun weapon. Definitely like the Blast build with Innervate, especially with the unique interaction that Blast has with Innervate and making it stack faster. And this also completely shreds everything in the game. So if you guys are, say for example, you're learning how to do Void Cascade for the first time and you, or it's like to level cap for example, and you're not comfortable with shield gating or whatever the mechanic is of your frame staying alive, just bring this absolutely sloppy loadout and you will have no issues. People will make fun of you for using this because it's a pure meta slop loadout, but hey, sometimes you just need to have an easy time. So there you go. Revenant's back. If you don't have him already, make sure you go get him. He's very good for just turning the game into an absolute joke. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the video and want to support the channel? The best way you can do so is to like, comment, and share the video along with subscribing to the channel if you think I've earned it. And if you want to catch me live on Twitch, my schedule is posted on the screen right now, so feel free to drop by and ask questions. As always, thank you to all of my YouTube members, Twitch subscribers, and Patreon supporters.